So this is a review of the coaching experience that I had with Revive Stronger. Specifically, my coach was Pascal Floor, and we worked together from February 2019 to December 2019. I'm going to speak a little bit about the brand firstly, and then I will get into the actual work with Pascal, because I presume you're watching this video and are interested in coaching. So I had been listening to the Revive Stronger podcast for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before I invested in coaching. And I'd been their seminars as well, and I got to meet Steve and I got to meet Pascal, and they're both really nice guys. And I know obviously the team's bigger now, but they were my first introduction to evidence-based training in the community. So I spent a lot of time interacting with them, learning from them, and asking questions before I decided to invest in coaching. Now I'm a PT and online coach myself. So the reason I decided to or wanted to work with them was because I felt that I had reached a level that I could no longer progress without guidance. So before I started with Pascal, I was not being very accountable to myself. I didn't have much structure to my training because I didn't have an overall goal, or I had a goal, but I didn't know how to structure it to get there, which led to me spinning my wheels a lot. It piqued my education because I think everybody knows a little bit depending on where they start in the gym, and they learn more as they go on. But I knew I was at a point where I had to learn from someone else about where to take your physique, where to take your training, where to take your knowledge of programming before I could then help my clients push forward as well. The accountability that Pascal gave me was great because there was no judgment. It purely was from a level of care and support. Like, it was all at every check-in, there was never any, you did this wrong. It's like, well, this was our goal. Okay, we didn't quite hit it this time. Here's some food for thought, and here's some guidance for next week. It was never telling you what to do. It was just a rationale. A massing phase, for example, high carb, low fat. Right. Here's why we're doing it. Here's why it's maybe a bit more optimal. But ultimately, here's what you need to do. Have some think about this. Decide what the priority is for you. So yeah, there was always that really good level of support, and I think if you're a coach, you'll know that you have to support first and foremost, because that's where it comes from, that they care. And I think the brand cares a lot. Like, Steve still answers my messages if I get in touch with him. I know the coaches Harry and Ryan, I've had conversations with them. They're both really nice guys. The brand really does actually want to help folk, which was great, because I got so much free information from them and their podcast before I even decided to go on a more one-to-one basis. And when I did go to that one-to-one basis, everything was tailored to me. Here's my structure, here's my schedule, here's my background, here's what I'm interested in. And if you can't see in the background here, because everything's mirrored, I have a Batman cooking robe. So when I said Pascal, he's like, what's your goal? Because they traditionally mostly train bodybuilders. I was like, I enjoy physique, but I really just want to look and move like Batman. And he was like, right, okay, well, here's the trade-offs between maximizing hypertrophy. Here's the trade-off to maximize strength. Here's the trade-off to trying to do both. Here's where you meet in the middle. And there was always an explanation of why we do things. I'm very much a bit of a nerd, and I need to know specifically why I'm doing things. Why pause bench 3 times a week? Why stiff-legged deadlifts? And the answers sometimes were like, were simple. It was just, well, we need some variety. But often there was also reasons behind it. Well, here's your bench here. We want to bring it up some more. Frequency does this. Cool. So now I've learned, okay, more frequency helps to a point. I can go research that. So there was always things to take away from it, which I really, really enjoyed. I'm going to stop this here with this final thought that hopefully will kind of sum up my experience with coaching and working with Pascal and being part of the brand. Regardless of which coach you have who helps you with your training, they're investing in you as a person, and they only want to support you and your goals, and they only want to support you in the way that you need it. So if you're thinking of investing, do so knowing that you're going to have somebody in your corner every step of the way, educating you and ultimately teaching you to be a better coach for yourself. And I think that's all that needs to be said about that. So hopefully this has been helpful. And hopefully I'll be seeing you at the next Revive Stronger.